Okay, thank you very much. Nice to be here on Ubehi podcast again. I am Olutayo Adesina, Professor of History, Department of History, University of Ibadan. I have been with the University of Ibadan since December 1993. Talking about working in the academia, it's been wonderful also being a historian, especially an economic historian. From that pedestal, I have been able to contribute not only to knowledge, but also to public affairs as well as progressive change in my country.
Thank you so much for that, sir. That is so. It's an honor to talk to you. So today we are looking at the Nigerian economy from the point of view of digital age. This is the age of digital revolution, as it were. We are fully into it. So it will make sense to the Nigerian people, both home and abroad, that our economy should have equally been configured for it because there is no way you are going to go back. We are living in this time, and there are characteristics of this time. One of the characteristics is that this is a digital economy now. So we're going to be looking at it now from the point of view of how is the state of the Nigeria economy in the digital age. Help us get a sort of a clear idea that then we're going to be moving down into it.
Well, one thing that I have come to learn when talking about Nigeria is not only to know how to periodize, but also to ensure you get your classifications right. You could not call Nigeria a modern society, so to speak. The population of the country has shown sufficient intergenerational mix for us to be able to say, well, Nigeria is both modern and traditional. And that's why we now have different generations trying to find a space for themselves under the sun. Right now, we have a large population of our youths who are gradually advancing into the ICT age, and they are doing very well. But the percentage is still very small. Even though they are technologically savvy, the percentage is still very small. We still have a larger population of those you call the analog generation. That is the overwhelming part of the population now. And that is why we are now trying to ensure that even the analog generation is tutored on what it means to live the digital age. So it's going to be gradual, but I must say that the young generation is taking the lead. But what has given that generation a poor image now in the age of the ICT is the propensity of that generation, at least the bad element within it, to commit fraud and crime with ICT. And that is why in Nigeria you hear about Yahoo, Yahoo, Yahoo Plus. These are the kind of things that is already giving that generation a bad image, and then everybody getting afraid of the ICT generation. You will sit in your home, and then, of course, somebody somewhere is withdrawing your money, and you are getting the alert without knowing what was happening. So these are the kind of, but I must tell you that some of our sectors are moving into the ICT age, the digital age. The banking sector has done very well in that regard. I also remember that under Akim Adesina as Minister for Agriculture also moved in. The educational sector is still far behind, which is tragic because that's the sector that should actually launch that digital revolution that we are going to use to move into the 21st century. Well, the telecommunication industry has moved very well into it. Um, Commerce, yes, you have e-commerce, but it is not versatile yet. It's only certain portions of the economy. Although right now, especially with this currency change, um, many of our market women are also beginning to see the advantages of moving into the digital age. So they also now go about with the POS, and they also have accounts and tell you to transfer the amount you wanted to pay into their account. So they are also moving gradually. But we will get a better sense of things if the educational sector moves. But right now, it's still behind all the other sectors in moving into digital age.
Thank you so much for that. That is important. Now, I want to look at the sort of the basis, as it were. Like I was saying before, we as a country, Nigeria, and by extension also other countries in Africa and Africans, as it were, cannot possibly stay back and say the world should go on. The world cannot wait for us. We are going to have to. It's a movie train. We are going to run to join the train because you just simply cannot say, well, we were not prepared. It's not an excuse. This is the age of internet. You must work with it, and your economies must be equal to it because there is no alternative. Now, what I'm actually dragging at is the tools. What does it really need as a country like Nigeria, for example, with the huge potential that we have? Looking at infrastructure, what do we need to be able to be a key player in the digital economy? Because again, we cannot simply go and hide inside a rock and say we are not living in the 21st century. We are here and we must be present.
Well, three immediate things. The first one has to do with the change in our mindset. Without changing the mindset of the average Nigerian and making him or her to see the importance of the digital age to our existence, of course, nothing will change. We are still too much traditional in our thinking, in our practices and activities to be able to take advantage of the digitalization process going on all over the world. Yes, everybody is now using mobile technology, which is very good. The tele-density of Nigeria has improved significantly. That's fine. But the change in mindset will get better once the educational system also gets better, so that you begin to catch them young from the primary school, secondary school, university system. Of course, it has a bandwagon effect of spreading through the children to the outer society. So changing mindset is the first thing we must address. Then secondly, you have the problem of power. I'm sure we have one of the crudest power supplies in the continent of Africa. So until they address that, it's going to be too costly to get into the group of things in running these things. And then, of course, there is energy crisis. There's energy crisis. To buy diesel to run a business makes it almost counterproductive because you push the cost back to the consumers. And so, because of the high cost, that discourages consumers from a lot of things also. Then, of course, the third one is the critical infrastructure of the ICT itself.